Uh, why did you want to do Covenant? I mean, what was the starting point? What was the genesis?
So the reason I was I just want to let the dog in. The reason it came really through watching so many documentaries about both Iraq and Afghanistan, both from a British point of view and from an American point of view, and the bonds that have been fused through the trauma of war, which seem to bestow a curious and paradoxical curse upon the recipients of great acts of valor and generosity, and how it seemed to stir something deeper within the human experience and condition that we don't really understand and do we really tap into. It seems to go beyond morals and ethics, and it seems to tap into something that is profoundly human. And I think if we can find any reason to shine a light upon that which is deeper than the conventional rhythm of life and the petty rules that we have, conforming to how we're supposed to conduct relationships with each other, that this gave us a perfect opportunity to indulge ourselves within the narrative of that profound bond.
I totally agree. This film is full of humanity, and I mean, I'm going to come back on that a little later. But Jake Dar, is it the reason why you wanted to play those characters? I mean, this adding humanity to what is an action movie and a war movie, but it's so much more than that.
Yeah, I think the idea that these two people their relationship is arranged, you know, they have no choice in it, and yet there are two people who decide somehow to save the life of the other was very, to me, the simplicity of the story allowed for us to fill it with complexity and many, many more questions, you know. It's a simple act both ways, but the choice is filled with, like Guy said, a real humanity, but in that humanity there are just so many, just so much complexity. And so I also feel like, you know, we're a country, but we're also really a world, I feel, but you know, at least America is a world, a country that's, ethos is, you know, no one left behind. And that idea, I think, is a really interesting one. And one that doesn't mean you have to not be begrudging and annoyed and frustrated that you have to go back and get someone. It means you have to go do it. And in that sense, I think this film was very human. And it really made me think, oh, this is what it feels. It feels more like this than sentimentalizing it and making, you know, somebody doing good because it's just who they are. They are just good. I don't know if I would have wanted to do that movie.
I mean, the honest answer for me is, you know, if Ritchie had asked me to be a background actor in his movie, I would have probably said yes anyway, and working with this guy as well is a huge honor. But having said that, I am just so pleased and honestly happy about this opportunity to play in a story about two men from such different cultures. And in Hollywood movies, that's not always how we portray people from different cultures, that you actually can relate to both men, that you can, as a European, as an American, relate to Ahmed, you can relate to Jake's character. They mirror each other, and it kind of, in the heart of the movie, without any sentimentality, without throwing emotions in the face of the audience, you get to show that so much unite us more than divide us. You know, there's so much noise in the world. So much, everybody's always telling us about the differences between us and what we don't agree upon. But at the end of the day, we all just want the same thing. You know, I truly believe that most people just want to have the opportunity to provide for themselves and their families and to give their children, as you have all your kids behind you, as Guy pointed out, just a better opportunity than you had yourself. And to be a small part of that in a movie that goes out to the whole world, for me, is just a huge joy.
This is a very special relationship that they have. How did you work on that together? How did you work on these subtleties of the relationship?
Well, I mean, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think honestly that's a choice that was made more by Guy than by us. You know, the way it happened was we kind of, you know, you have a leader who knows what he wants, but at the same time has the bravery, honestly, to find it on set. You know, you have to have a lot of confidence to work like that, to be able to say, I know what I want, but we will actually find exactly how I want to do it and how these guys interact on the day, and I will write it on the day. So once you submit yourself and surrender yourself to that process, it's quite magical. And then it became clear, I think, within like 7 or 8 days that this was kind of a Western. These guys were not the type of people who would show their emotions, and if we tried to do it, Guy would quickly tell us not to. As actors, you sometimes want to show, you want to show off, and he's got, no, that's not how it works, no, because real people, they don't laugh or cry on purpose. It just happens to them. It comes through the cracks. And once you give yourself up to that process with, a world-class actor next to you and Guy at the helm, it just becomes so much more interesting to watch and to play.
Dar, did you hate Guy the days that you had to carry Jake all day long and to push him? Did you really like?
No. And if I did, I'd never admit it. No, I loved it. I loved the physicality of it, and the way he works, things happen on the day. Like one day he tried to put a stunt guy in to save me, and I hurt myself, but I insisted I kept walking behind him like a dog and just insisting on getting in the shot. We were up the mountains because I knew that you never know when he gets inspired and when he sees something and then something arises. So I enjoyed the physicality of it. Just helps your performance. So the harder it is, the better it is. I love that. And also the bonus of carrying Jake around was that there was like 2 or 3 people hired to throw stuff in his face, like dust and blood and water, and it was very uncomfortable for Jake. So that was a very big pleasure for me as a bonus to push him around and watch that while Guy was yelling at him. What was he saying?
Guy would always have, when we shot the close-ups of me in there, we would always have a bucket of dust and rocks, water, and fake blood, and then Guy would always want me to have my eyes open directly into the sun. So he'd always, open your eyes, like that, and he's throwing blood, throwing rocks at my face. So yeah, I guess Dar
enjoyed that.
Dar enjoyed that.
Yes.
That was really. But it did expand that sequence, which was great. We almost put it at the end of every day. Guy, you got into continuing points of view, my point of view from the journey and his point of view, and he wanted to really keep shooting each point of view of that journey, and so that wasn't initially there in the same way. I know it was something that inspired you.
No, the journey developed on like day 3. We suddenly we had time allocated for some other part of the story, and the journey, which then became a significant part of the movie, we realized that that's what the film was about, was about the journey. But that wasn't scripted. That the film told us which direction to go in 2 or 3 days in, and then we started allocating time toward the journey.
Hey guys, meet Ahmed, our new interpreter.
アフガンの地で命を助けられた
We're going home.
アメリカ軍総長
We owe that man your life.
He ended up on their top 10 most wanted list with a price on his head.
You think I have a choice? And you're gonna help me, Colonel.
You're gonna be alone.
それは 99.9% 不可能な救出作戦コベナント約束の救出